Here is St. Clinton, who is going to read a story that he wrote titled, "Why Are the Heavens Being So Cruel?"
I never did get to find out her name, for I was too shy to ask, but I will always remember her as the most beautiful lady that I have ever seen in my life. To call her goddess of beauty would only be an insult to her, for she was beyond that. I was standing outside of the office smoking a cigarette and looked up to see a woman crossing the street. I really didn't think much of it, as I always saw somebody crossing the street, but something in me said to look again. Wow, I thought to myself, for she appeared to be very attractive, but I figured that she would just keep going down the street that she was on, and I wouldn't get to see her up close. I turned my head and looked down towards Jack London Square and watched as a passenger train went by. I guess that I had always been fascinated by trains ever since my father bought me a train set when I was a very small kid. How I dreamed of one day just hopping aboard one and traveling all over the country, and maybe someday I will. "Hi," I suddenly heard this beautiful voice say. I turned to see who it was as I quickly thought about whom else was around me, and I didn't remember seeing anyone else. Then my eyes cleared up. Before me was the woman that I watched cross the street. My heart began to race as I said a quick hello to her as she turned to go into the office building. I watched her as she walked in, and I realized that I have never seen such beauty. Oh, the heavens must be playing a joke on me, I thought to myself. Not only was she beautiful, but also I knew that she was intelligent, and a woman with a brain just turns me into jello. Now I have met many people in my life, from politicians, people that have been in the Olympics and one who even won gold medals, stars, professional sports players, business owners, and so many more, even people that were homeless, but none of them were like her, and up being the total package. I know what you are thinking. How does he know that she is all of that when she had only said one word to her? I can't explain it, but I knew. I watched her walk into the building and down the hallway, and then I turned back and looked out into the street. Could it be true? Could I have seen somebody as beautiful as that? Surely the heavens were playing a joke on me, and I know that I will never see her again except in my dreams. Yes, that's it. I was daydreaming that I saw her. I finished my cigarette and went back up into the office and back to work. A few days had passed, and I was standing outside of the building smoking another cigarette, when I heard this voice from behind me say hi. I quickly turned to see myself looking at her. Oh, how cruel the heavens are. So they have decided to play with my head again. Haven't I been good? I go to church every Sunday. I'm the senior warden at the church, and am involved with many things not only in the church, but I'm involved with things in the diocese. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I'm not into jumping into bed with any woman until we both know it's right. I'm not into wild parties. Yes, I smoke, but please Lord let me know why you are being so cruel to me and causing me to daydream again about this woman. She can't be real. But I watched her as she walked up the street, crossed to the other side and vanished. The Blue Angels were over in the city for a couple of shows, and I always do my best to go over and see them as I think that they put on a wonderful air show. This year the Canadian Snowbirds were also going to be there, and I had read wonderful things about them in one of the Usenet news groups. I had jumped on my bicycle and went over, and both groups put on wonderful shows. I really wasn't ready to come home, so I decided to ride my bike in the opposite direction. I rode until I reached the Golden Gate Bridge, then down through some of the paths. I noticed some cats playing around down near the water, so I got off of my bicycle and walked over towards them. They stopped playing and looked at me, then went back to playing like I wasn't even there. I sat down on a rock and watched as boats and ships went under the bridge. Suddenly I felt these hands begin to massage my shoulders. I started to turn around when I heard this female voice say to me, "Just keep looking forward and enjoying the sights. Don't worry, I'm not here to rob you. I am doing something that I've wanted to do for a while. Just stay quiet." I knew the voice. It was her. Why are the heavens being so cruel to me? I spotted you at the air show, and followed you here as you rode along on your bike. I wasn't going to follow you much further, and I'm glad that you stopped here, for this is such a wonderful place to just sit and take in the wonders of this planet. This is a great place to sit and think about things in your life. I started to say something, but suddenly she said for me to be quiet and to enjoy the wonderful things that are occurring. I'm not sure how much time had gone by, but the next thing that I remember is that the two cats that were playing earlier were resting at my feet. I looked around, but nobody was there, just me and the cats. I petted the cats for a bit, then they scurried off. I jumped on my bicycle and went home wondering why the heavens were being so cruel to me. I enjoy going to small theaters from time to time to see a play. I don't know why I decided to go and see the play, but I went. Not many people were there for this play as there were empty seats around me and throughout the theater. The house lights dimmed as the show was about to begin. Suddenly I felt someone sit next to me. I started to turn when suddenly there was a voice that said to continue to look at the stage for the play was about to begin. I knew the voice, and began to wonder if the heavens were trying to tell me something or were just being cruel again. I decided that when the play ended I was going to speak to her regardless of what she said. I just had to at least find out her name. The play was wonderful, as it made me laugh, think, and even brought a tear to my eye. It's a shame that this was closing night, as I would have enjoyed coming back to see it again. As the lights came up, I turned to say something to her, but she was gone. The people were exiting, and even with the few people there, I didn't see her. All that I could do is sit and wonder why the heavens were being so cruel to me. From time to time I would be standing outside the office building, and I would see her either coming or going. We would say hi to each other, but I never had the chance of being able to find out her name, as she was always on her mobile phone talking with someone. Regardless of how she was dressed, she always had the air of beauty and intelligence about her.
This is the end of part 1 of the story. The final part will be here soon.